To get my water. And just like that, we're live for episode 193 of This Week at Gear Report for the 4th of January. This is kicking off the 2024 year. So how many years have we spanned with this? Did we start doing these in 2020? I think we did. Wasn't it towards the end of 2020 or that we started? Maybe it was kind of early in 2020. Yeah, right. It was right when the Rona hit. So we're approaching 4 years, or wrapping up 3 years, I think, of broadcast. About to start our 4th year of This Week at Gear Report. So that's pretty exciting to me. Dyslexic goes tactical with koi. That's a new one. I don't think I've seen that one before. So I will salute his creativity. All right, let's see. So how you been, TJ?
I've been doing good. Plugging away. It's actually been a little chilly down here today in Florida. I had to put on a jacket.
Like below 70, you mean?
You know, it was 60s and windy.
Oh, that's brutal.
Like in the house, like I almost want to put a jacket on right now. It's so frigid. But
I hear you. Okay. So hang in there. I know it's tough when it gets a little bit, a little bit on the brisk side.
It's like, and it's 42 in here. So,
yeah. So let's talk about the agenda for the show this evening. We're going to do our typical stuff for This Week at Gear Report. I'd also like to say thank you to Maxim Defense, the proud sponsor of This Week at Gear Report yet again. Let's see. This Week at Gear Report, we will talk about recent reviews. We do have one to talk about. We'll talk about some stuff that will or may be published soon. We will have a I think, very interesting section of Guitarmageddon because I was busy I was like Santa's elf in the workshop today, just knocking some stuff out. So
is it because it makes it warm in there when you do that stuff?
Well, doing that work, I actually went and worked somewhere else today, not in the office, just so I could be around the kids before one of them went back to school today. So I went to where I could hang out around people while I was working. So I'll apologize to Mrs. Gear Report if there's any debris that turns up elsewhere in the house where I had to drill some stuff, You know how it is. Sometimes you just have to drill things, and I'm pretty sure I got all the little bits up, but in case I missed any, I do apologize for that. But I was trying to spend time with Junior before he went back to school. So anyhow, we will have some interesting results of my efforts today in the Guitarmageddon segment. When we get to that, of course, we're going to do TJ's Happy Hour. We do
every hour on the hour.
I want to give a reminder to everyone who is a member of any of the organizations that get you, what did they call it? It's not immunity, that get you injunctive relief from the NFA's gross missteps and oversteps as it relates to pistol braces. Like if you're a member of GOA or a number of other organizations, then the injunctions block the ATF from being able to enforce that. And this may have changed in the meantime. I haven't been following it incredibly closely lately, but it's coming up to be about a year since those things happened to begin with. So if you went and signed up for some of those organizations and became a member just to get the injunctive relief, it's probably time for you to renew so that doesn't run out and make you a felon because you're no longer covered by the injunction.
You should renew anyways. They're doing a lot.
Yes, I agree.
Fun so they can help.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's on my list I've got a stack of bills and whatnot here to deal with tomorrow. And in this stack are a couple of those renewals for some of those organizations. So, so we're going to take care of that here shortly. Central North Carolina, where Gear Report headquarters is, thankfully, we're a few degrees higher. We're about 32 degrees. We should get down to about 26 tonight, but it is not supposed to snow tomorrow here. I'm pretty happy about that. We've got 46, I think, tomorrow or something like that. So that's a little better.
She got a little carried away there with the
Yo,
Ys.
well, she got an extra Y, and then she fixed it. So yeah, we'll give her an A for effort. Whatever. That's thanks for trying, and we appreciate it.
Listen,
Let's see.
she showed up in the chat.
Well, it's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I always want to recognize and encourage people to do that with us here. So let's see. Oh, G Webs is out there as well. So welcome to G Webs. So let's dig in real quickly. We'll go back to the recent reviews segment, and I'll show you what we have here on the homepage at GearReport.com. If you haven't been there in a while, you may have missed things like the Kung Fu grip that we talked about last week, the Foxtrot mics, Mic 102, the Go Safe mobile safe review. I mean, TJ wrote a bunch of these. I'm sure that you wouldn't dare miss those. But we got a variety of interesting um, articles up there for you to read. And we should have some new stuff showing up here pretty soon. The latest and greatest, a little bit different than what we typically would post. A guest author was very persistent, asking, "Can I please post this article?" And eventually they wore me down. I said, "You know what? This will be the first article of the year as a guest post about some weekend getaways." And they actually, I'll tell you, one of the things that got my attention is growing up. I grew up in Ohio for the beginning of my growing up, and I actually heard my parents talk about Hocking Hills before. So when I saw this listed, I was like, "Wait a second, I've heard of that." Aspen, Colorado, sure, that's and Banff, Alberta, and Lake Placid. Those are all bigger
Some
places.
very chilly places.
I don't know that I'd heard of Stowe, Vermont before. Dude, that is right. Most of these seem kind of chilly. Hocking Hills, not so much, but
you're like, Almirada, Key West, Sarasota.
yeah.
I'm just saying there's
No,
other
I'm
options.
with you. I'm with you. So anyhow, this article's out there. I'm going to grab the link and drop it in the discussion. If anyone wants some ideas on how to get a weekend getaway, you can go check some of those out, or you can send a note to the Gun Snob, who is our resident travel expert who just got back from someplace, I think, rather chilly, where I want to say he went to a ski town, but I don't know if he did any skiing or not. And maybe I bastardized and told some of his personal business that I shouldn't have. But he
was
has
out
done.
scouting fence posts for pictures.
Dude, did you see someone on Instagram through the Gear Report account? I said something about that doesn't look like the same fence post, and I said imposter with an exclamation point. And they wrote back something about like, no, he's not an imposter. And it was not 100% serious, but it was someone, and it was probably like whoever had the shotgun that was in the post or whatever. And, but I was like, no. I was saying he's an imposter because that's not the iconic fence post that everyone knows that the Gun Snob uses in his. How dare you? I don't even know what that's about. It could be a couple of things we talked about. Any one of them. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Kevin says Hocking Hills is a fun time. Great hiking, but not in the winter. Yeah, I hear you. That's a summer place. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah. The Gun Snob says, I didn't ski, but I was much younger and definitely I have, but I was much younger and much skinnier. So that's an interesting discussion. Do you ski, TJ?
No.
So
I choose life. I play basketball. That's my
hobby. Oh, another on a personal note, a big milestone in my life, something I've been working towards for actively for about a year and a half. And I finally just had to lay down the law and say, I've been trying to get someone to replace me as a scout leader. And last night I literally showed up at the meeting, took my uniform shirt off, cut the patch off that said that I was the skipper of the Sea Scout ship and handed it to the other person who is now the skipper and said, "Thank you, enjoy." And I'm still going to help out with that. I didn't need to be in charge of that
It
anymore.
frees up so much time too. Like my
Well, and the
brother was,
commitment.
he's not coaching this year. He's like, yeah, I had enough, and now he's like, dude, it's so nice not having to be at the school like 3:30
Yeah.
every day during football season. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah. So it's something else. But the reason that came to my mind was talking about skiing, where Snob said he hadn't skied since he was younger. I actually had that discussion with someone last night because my scouts, although I'm not the head person in charge, I'm still working with that unit, and a bunch of them are planning on doing something they call Scouts on Skis, where they go to a ski resort in Virginia, or maybe it's West Virginia. I don't remember. Um, and it's all arranged by the local scout council. And someone said, "Oh, are you going?" And I was like, "Oh, I hadn't been in about 10 years. All three, maybe it was less than that, but all three of my kids went that time." And honestly, I said, "I'm not smart enough to go. Like, I'll hurt myself because you put me on anything where speed is an issue, and I get all Ricky Bobby, like I want to go fast, and I'm scared because my body's falling apart. I have pushed it too hard for too long, and I'm a little concerned about would I be able to ski without hurting myself. But then I'm reminded that I saw a picture of my brother a couple days ago. They're out somewhere out west skiing, and here we go. I'm going to silence that. And I thought, well, you know, he's still doing it. So maybe I
no,
could
I mean,
probably do it.
listen,
I don't
snow's
know.
soft. Just avoid the trees. I think if you avoid the trees, that's a whole part of it. Snow's pretty soft. You'll be all right.
Oh, Gunsnob says I did do some snow tubing. That's pretty fun, which is interesting. The last time I went skiing, I heard some people there at the I think it was one of the scout families that was there. The parent said something about, "No, I don't want to ski. I think I'm going to tube. That looks a lot safer." And they're like, "Oh no, people get hurt way more often and way
I don't,
worse
let's see how
tubing
you
than they
can
do
control
on the
it. You
ski
just like, all
slopes."
right, I'm going downhill. Don't know where, but
Yeah.
I mean, I would like it because I could hold my drink while I was doing it. That would be the
So,
best thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
so he says less likely to have to go to the hospital. That I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that the person who worked there, that's what they had said was, no, you would think it'd be safer, but it actually hasn't proven out to be, at least at
Oh,
that facility.
he's like, so
So,
that I send so many idiots to the hospital from tubing. Like,
oh my, I can't imagine working someplace like that. And especially, well, it's like either working at a boat ramp or a ski lift or anything like that, where there are some people who won't go out on the water. They won't go to a body of water unless they're lit, and then
right.
they try to operate a boat that they don't really actually know how to operate. Um, so something that I find entertaining and frustrating is a YouTube channel. It's like called Miami Boat Ramp or something like that. And it's just a guy that sets up across from a boat ramp and
Oh yeah,
zooms
it's
in
so
on
funny.
on
Yep.
the idiots who come in and they don't know how to drive their boat. They don't know how to dock it. They don't know how to put it on or take it off the trailer or even back up the trailer. And really, really will make you wonder.
Oh, it's so
You
funny.
know,
There's another one where the guys they just sit on the side and
yeah.
grade people and judge people. Like, hey, good job, or like just shaking their heads like, yeah, this one's like a 2.
Yeah. It's like if you don't know what you're doing, find someone to teach you or help you. Don't just go out there and endanger
Yeah.
everyone around you and, go buy a $60,000 boat and then bash it up against the dock because you're too proud to admit that you've never driven a boat before and you don't know what you're doing. And like, it doesn't mean you're stupid. It means you're ignorant because you've never done it before. Because that's how we all start when you're doing something you've never done before, right? So smart people aren't, you can be ignorant and smart, but the smart people who are ignorant are going to find a way to learn, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The gun stop says the people who can't back a trailer at boat ramps make you question how these people are smart enough to afford a boat. Yeah, sometimes. Yep. Yep. I spent more time at boat ramps than most people, growing up and then working with the scouts. I've seen enough that it's like there are times I will like tell the kids, all right, stay away from that boat. They don't know what they're doing. They'll hurt you.
Head on a swivel, kids.
Yep. Yep. All right. So we have completed the recent reviews section. We moved on to reviews that will be published soon. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit when we get to the Guitarmageddon section. Do you have anything you want to talk about in this segment, TJ?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe. That's such a strong commitment. All right.
I mean, I started the new job, so it's tough.
Yeah.
I get up, 4:30, and then I'm done work by 3 or so, but it's like still, then I've been hitting work at my other job. So
yeah, wrapping up the other job or just
I get a couple, probably a couple months of working to finish up the other jobs as well. So I just got in a little while ago.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, I got a live stream, got to go. But yeah, the 8.6 is pretty much close. I think I need just a few more picks on it, and then the Monster Tough from Duty Coat, yeah.
Yeah, I can see those out there. I can see we saw Kevin Kinzer in the chat a little while ago. It appears, if you trust WordPress, that he is actively writing an article about the Tandem Cross MK4 tactical pistol right now. So that's always exciting. I see, the Live Free Armory 308 match receiver set review coming from TJ, the Monster Tough Duty Coat. I was looking. It says there's something pending. The Go Safe mobile mag review. So we did the mag safe before.
Yeah, that's the other end of that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to give. I'd actually planned on giving it a week between them instead of publishing them at the same time. But then I didn't get that one published yet. So that'll happen pretty soon. Right. And that should be available for folks to look at. So yeah, we've got some things coming, and I think we're all trying to wrap up, especially any firearms related stuff before SHOT Show, so that we can do the most out. So we'll be going in with a clean slate and not a pre-packed
empty it all out
already.
Empty the queue out. Done.
Yeah. So all right. So I think that's going to move us off of reviews will be published soon.
Then we just throw it all to you, Jeff, and then hopefully you can get it all published before SHOT Show.
Eventually. Yeah.
Notice I changed my title.
Intern director.
I'm working my way back up.
I hadn't seen an intern director before. That's a neat title that you made up.
Interim.
Gun Snob says, I always get stuck waiting on someone who can't back a boat. Meanwhile, Stacy will back the trailer in the water every time first try. Yeah, I mean, I had a time in my life where I struggled a bit with backing trailers, but I'm a whole lot better now. I worked on it. I literally went to a parking lot and practiced backing. Like, I don't understand why the people who don't know how to do it at a boat ramp, why do you go straight to the boat ramp if you know you don't know how to back? Go to a freaking parking lot when it's empty and practice before you go to the boat ramp. I mean, have some sense, people.
Yeah.
All right. Gun Snob says, can we just skip Guitarmageddon tonight? No, we can't, because I have some exciting stuff to show you guys.
He's been doing stuff, Snob.
I have. And it's cool. I mean, we talked about it last week, but I have
actually look pretty cool.
Finished products to talk about pretty much. As Kevin says, he is working on one now. So yes, review in process there from the Quiet Hustler. All right. Defense Dad says, I see gun people, which, everyone else says yo, yo, yo when they introduce themselves here. Defense Dad is probably going on 2 years of saying, I see gun people. So we allow it. That's one of those, I see it and I'm like, well, it's not yo, 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 but I'll allow it. All right. He's got precedent. He's been doing it for so long. He's a I see gun people veteran. So we let him get away with that. Oh, look at this. The Gun Snob. Can you believe he was raised on a farm?
I can. I was just getting ready to say, like, no.
Yeah, really?
Come on.
Says I could back
on a farm. I don't believe that.
Before I was 10. That's impressive. DJ Play Nice wants Bassmageddon. I don't know. I'm really qualified for that one. I do have a bass. It's a short scale bass, but I got way more guitars. Guitarmageddon rocks. All right. So I think we are going to move into that here shortly. And shots fired at the gun snob. Defense Dad says, pretty sure he was born at a barn too. I don't know if it's true or not. I wouldn't.
We can't say yay or nay on that one.
Who am I to say it's not true?
Until Snob confirms or denies it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So here's another thing. Before we move into the Guitarmageddon, let's talk about SHOT Show. We said
everybody
we'll
knows so well.
So yeah, we will. The gun snob was possibly conceived in a barn. All right, that's about all the information that we need on that. So he said, "Did you get your room in Vegas at the Motel 4? Is that cheaper than the Motel 6? Because if so,
don't
is there a Motel 2? I mean, I don't know what the Motel 1 or just the Motel 0.
I mean, there's probably like a Motel 0, but you got to take the murder scene tape off the door and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean,
well,
if there's water and power.
Oh, it's 2 less, so it has to be. I got you. Flying Rich is out there. Greetings, Rich. So, no, we have not booked yet.
Of course not.
We were in the Motel 1 last year. I think we're in like a Motel 2 because it wasn't bad. Like
1.5.
The room was okay. It was.
We had a nice view
of
Circus
sketchy.
Circus.
We did have a nice view of Circus Circus.
A little sketchy, nothing.
Look out the front window. You could see the big clown lit up on the sign in front, which I don't know if you ever look at, if you stare at that clown long enough while you're trying to fall asleep, you realize the Circus Circus clown is like hella creepy. Man, it'll weird you out a little bit looking at that.
It wasn't that sketch, but when people like saw me and Jeff walking over there, just automatically, they would all be hanging out outside and they would just all go in their rooms.
That's true. Like, that is the benefit, I think, of kind of looking like feds a little bit.
Right.
Like,
I was gonna say,
because we dress nice for SHOT Show. And I think that the people who frequented that establishment just assumed that we were Fed boys or something. So seriously, check this out. Oh, how do I make that bigger? Yeah. You try staring at that while you're trying to fall asleep, looking out the front window. That clown is creepy.
It was just me. It was just me holding the lollipop.
Oh, yeah. Well,
no,
I will refrain from the big pedophile jokes then. So, all right. Let's see. Oh, I'm not even going to post that one, Defense Dad. Let's see. What's this say? The Mardi Gras cost me an extra $2,000 to get rid of the bed bugs at home. Ouch. Yeah, that's a little scary. Circus Circus has spent some money in the last year or two on renovations, like lots of money, but it's still
they flip the mattresses.
It's janky.
Yeah,
it's janky. I mean, we stayed there a couple times for a SHOT Show. I think I've stayed at Circus Circus. I want to say 3 times. Didn't we stay in one of the towers one year? And then I stayed over in the Motor Lodge one year.
In the Motor Lodge.
And then all of us stayed in the Motor Lodge the year that we had the air mattresses and 4 people in the same friggin' room. That was so stupid.
Oh, the good old days.
It's a bit disturbing that they put the screens in the clown's crotch, he says. It is kind of. Yeah.
That's not. He's just like, look at this.
Yeah. All right. So with that, well, you've successfully delayed
Jeff's favorite segment.
The start, but it's not just mine. But it's Guitarmageddon, and we do have a couple things to talk about. So,
I want to see the manufacturer. There it is. That's what that's the one I wanted to see. Jeff's like, I made this.
I'm going to take the screen here. So we showed this one before, and since the last time we got the full controls installed here, and everything's working, and I put new tuners up here at the top, And these just came today. They're called string trees here, that hold the strings down. So this is complete, and it plays really nice. It sounds good. It looks good. Just all the way around, I am thrilled with this, and a how-to article and video, like a time lapse type, 5 minute sped up version of how that was made, will be published in video form here shortly. Let's see. Rich says, "Did you play the 3D printed?" Yeah, so that's what this one is. And I think, yeah, that one looks really cool with the orange and gray and black. Those are intentionally the Gear Report, the old school Gear Report colors, not the Gear Report firearms, but the OG Gear Report is orange and black and gray. So what pickups this one has I don't know who makes them, but this is a Telecaster setup, and a local professional musician. I bought a guitar from him, and he went through his box of pickups and was like, "Here, you do cool stuff with guitars. Let me give you some of this extra pickups." He gave me like a box full of pickups, and that Telecaster set was in there. And then today, I thought I had finished this one. I got to show you something interesting here. Look at that. We have got Sasquatch on the back of this guitar, and I thought that really added a little to it. And TJ, are you able to talk when I take over the screen?
Am I?
Okay, I hear you. I'm assuming so.
I was
So
just
this
muted
one,
because I was letting you talk, man.
well, I just wanted to be sure. This one, I just got the new tuning pegs. I put those on today, and I installed these string trees. And I actually had to file up underneath here at the end and take 3/16 of an inch off to make everything fit right. These pickups, it's a P90 up here at the top and then a humbucker at the bottom. And I think both of those may have come from that same musician that gave me a bunch of parts. And I've got, like, I have boxes full of pickups that I've gotten various different ways, and these just happen to work out pretty good. And the strap buttons, and this one is a string through, so it's got the little ferrules in the back, and the beautiful wood grain on this neck. So all around this one, I printed the whole thing myself. I did black on one half and white on the other half, and the other one, Chris printed that one for me. Chris, who's the local firearms
Jeff,
guy and
Jeff's
3D
custom
printer.
guitars.
Yeah. So, and I've actually got some parts. One of them just finished. I made sure it was done before before the show started, because the printer is
Is it
right
loud?
over there, and it gets a little loud when it's running. And I'm actually printing a new one for a guy, named Mike, that runs a channel on YouTube called Fulton Street Beats. And he does, like, I've got a bunch of these chips and guitars behind me, whole bunch of them. And I'll tell you what,
Just a
it's
few.
killing me because they're so nice and so cheap. It's just blowing my mind. But anyhow, he's been doing a bunch of the chips and stuff. I was doing chips and stuff. Then when my channel got nuked, we called and talked, and he gave me a bunch of pointers on, if I get the channel back, how to keep from losing it again. So I reached out and said, "Hey, I hadn't seen you do any 3D printed guitars. If you have an interest in that, here's what I'm willing to do. I will print you a guitar and I'll send it to you. But then you're going to have to do everything else. Like, you'll have to get a neck for it and get all the pickups and everything. But then you can do videos on creating that. I just want you to give me, mention my channel moved to Rumble." And
Conveniently, one of the hexagons is Gear Report guitars.
ooh, I hadn't thought of that.
Oh,
His is going to be a flying V, which is
ooh,
similar to this white one back here, where it's like
flying
the
V.
arrow shape. It'll be a black plastic flying V with flames on the top. He can fill in the flames if he wants, or hollow them out, put lights behind them, do whatever he wants. It's going to be pretty cool. But I started printing that today. I printed the first 2 parts for that one, and it's going to take a little while to finish that, but it's going to be interesting. All right, what do we got here? The Gun Snob says back to editing Amazon videos. Yeah, he knows he loves this segment. Let's see. Is that a ghost guitar?
No.
I suppose
Whoa.
they are, actually. Whew,
Bless you.
man,
Yeah,
that
it
was
is a
about
ghost
knocked me
guitar.
over. Made the hair on my arm stand up when I sneezed. Just think how much more cost effective it would have been if rock bands could have smashed printed guitars in the 80s. Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, but honestly, I mean, the printer, I got an extra large printer that you can do an entire guitar body at one time. Like it'll print the whole thing in one piece. And that was about $500. But the filament on a guitar, I've found some deals on filaments, $10 to $15 to print an entire guitar body. If you take the cost of the printer out and the time involved in setting it up and everything. Um, yeah, I've gotten some cheap wooden guitars like Chinese guitars or Chinese guitar bodies, but they're not 10 or $15. Like they're more than that. So it's really interesting. I'm looking. Oh, did I show? No, you weren't here, TJ. I was going to say, did I show the 3D printed parts that I made some stops? I think I showed them last week. Um, like the forward stops that you can put up against a barrier,
Yeah.
like it will go on your M-lock rail or
Mhm.
go on a. I think these are made for a Picatinny rail. So I did a couple of those and an angled forward grip. I
Look at
printed a
you
few of
getting all
those,
fancy up in there.
and I'm looking to see what else is over there on the table with the printer. I printed a bunch of test stuff in the last week to try to dial this machine in a little bit better because I'm generally getting really good prints out of it and really happy with it. But I'm like, you know what? I need to do better. Oh,
Yeah. Every once
yeah.
in a while, I'll get this little feller.
Yeah, there we go. Pete Townsend breaking his guitars. Yeah, I have a problem with that. Just like I have a problem with people tearing down goalposts when your team wins a game. Like you're tearing your own stuff up. Pull your head out, guys. That doesn't make any sense. I need to go
I do
grab
not do
the
that.
little Pelican light case that I did.
See, defense dad. He's already on it.
Yeah, it's not done. I've got to figure out what pins to use for the hinges. But this little one, you see, it's got a double hinge. I just took a paper clip and cut it up and bent it to make. It's got a little double hinge here on the back,
Well, that'll work.
and here, let's see, there you go. You can see it's got 6 compartments inside, and I haven't done the latch. Like for the latch is actually printed in here, and
Hmm.
I haven't installed it on the front yet, but.
Pretty much like click it all together, or you screw it together, or
Well, it's just pinned together through that little hinge piece.
okay.
And like I said, I'm just
Same with
using
the
a big
lock
paper
on it.
clip right now.
No, paper clip's fine.
Yep. How long did the box take to print? I don't remember. Total was probably about 6 hours or so, I'm thinking, but I don't know. I printed a bunch of stuff since then, so I don't actually remember. Defense Dad thought he was being tricky switching the topic from guitars, but guess what? I was done anyway.
Yeah,
We had covered everything we needed to. So,
there you
yet
go.
again, it's a theme with Defense Dad. He keeps doing things that normally it's like, yeah, you don't do that on this show, but he keeps doing it. And I'm like, I'll allow it. Yep.
Just because I
So,
was finished anyways.
well, right. Right. I mean, I could talk all night because like the wall of the chips and guitars
I
back
know the
here, I
wall
have
of
got
chips and
some that I am
it's a
thrilled with.
great wall of China back there.
Well, hey, that's a good thing to call it.
Yeah.
I've got some amazing ones that blew me away back there. And if anyone wants, we can do a live on something else and like on the guitar channel and talk about all that stuff. Defense Dad says, I'm a nerd. If I had a 3D printer, I'd be printing obscure sci-fi models, and that's something that I'm actually trying not to do at all. I did print for my son asked for a Cowboy Bebop spaceship model,
Oh
and I
yeah.
said, you know what, that'd be a good test. I looked at the details on it, and I said, all right, let's see. We'll
How'd it
scale
turn
it
out?
to this size, and let's see what kind of detail we can get on it, and see what we can learn from it. And so I did that. But
How'd it turn out?
generally, I don't need a bunch of stuff sitting around. I have
How'd it turn
clutter
out?
everywhere anyway.
Was it cool? Was it like awesome?
It was
Or
pretty
was it
good.
like we're like, ooh,
Well, I
because I am a
after
cowboy
that
bebop
was
fan.
done, I
So
did a little bit of calibration on it
uh,
to make some things look a little bit better. But I mean, overall, I was pretty pleased with how it turned out.
was he happy with it?
Yeah, yeah. And I learned something with that about some of the parts you have to print supports in them so that like if there's a big span where the filament has to cross with nothing under it, you have to
Right.
print like a disposable piece that sits in it that so it holds up
You're
the
like,
little bridge area,
right.
and then once it's done you pull that out. And
Like
he
I'm not.
got pretty frustrated with trying to remove some of those supports, which I completely understand where he was coming from there. um, and a couple things he got a little rough with and broke them off, but overall I think it was a good project. Here, I'll show
Listen, I
you.
know. I know. Keith got the resin printer, and he's
Yeah,
been printing stuff like that.
yeah. And I'm so Chris has got a resin printer and he's done some of that stuff, and I just I don't want all that little stuff sitting around. Like I don't need it. So here is that ship. Oh, whoa! Trying to make it bigger, that didn't work. I guess that's as big as I can make it on the screen, but that's the ship that I printed for him. So there's what it looked like. And then the green is the supports, the extra
Uh,
plastic it puts on. And that was such a bear to
oh
get
my
off.
gosh, that's a
So
lot. There's a lot of supports.
yeah. Yeah. And then so that was what it should look like. And then here it is printed. And there's a lot of support to get off. And a couple of them it didn't work quite right. And it like I think it needed to be bigger in order to for those parts, a couple of the parts to print right. So that was a neat little test though to see how we would be able to print something like that. All right. Anyhow, so that's what's going on there.
Nice. That
Oh, so here's a good, interesting comment. Something I downloaded a couple designs for a defense dad says that are camera stuff. It'd be cool to print a cage for my phone and cameras. I've downloaded a couple cage models about 2 days ago, and just can't decide if I want to print them or not because I've seen I really have been intrigued by. I think Snob has carried a cage with like a GoPro and an iPhone at SHOT Show and other events, and Sarge and OB. I've seen a few of the guys. I can't remember if Gary's actually done a cage or not, but I like them. But when you 3D print them, the parts get sized up a little bit for strength, and I'm just not sure. I don't know if I want to carry all that around. Like I really like the phone that I
I mean,
use as a camera that I
yeah.
can just
I
shove it
mean,
in my pocket.
AJ can carry it around. So
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
have to carry it around. You can delegate.
Yeah. So anyhow, I'm probably going to print one pretty soon just to see if I like using a cage around a cell phone. I'm probably going to try it, but we'll see. Fortunately, this printer's big enough. It's not like I can print anything I want, but it's big enough you can print a full size helmet. So
What you guys
maybe I'll
need?
do that. Hmm?
You need one helmet.
Do I?
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. That's where a lot of people get them for cosplay stuff. They'll get the real big printers so they can print a full size helmet of some sort. I actually looked up one of the regrets I have when I got out of the Air Force. Um, they requested two things back
You gave back your
that
stuff.
I gave them. I gave back my flight helmet, which kind of pisses me off because it was super cool, custom molded and everything. I gave back my flight helmet and then the knife that the emergency knife that you carry in your flight suit. So if you like if you parachute into trees and you got to cut the lines free, it's got the little hook with the blade in it so you can cut your parachute lines. I gave that back. They requested both of those. I gave them both back. I think, yes, it's the right thing to do to give it back, but I probably could have just ignored them and kept them. And so I looked up, like, were there any U.S. Air Force flight helmet models where I could print a new helmet? Ooh, here's an idea.
Uh-oh.
I am going to look up like fast helmet type stuff, the special operator type helmets.
Well, there you go.
And I have a couple of airsoft helmets that I keep in the Humvee for car shows and stuff just to look the part. So I don't have like an $800 helmet sitting there that someone can steal, like a $50 helmet. But that could be interesting if I can print some 3D print some like night vision holders or
Yeah.
some other prop stuff to leave in the Humvee for car shows so I'm not risking like real stuff.
Yeah, give them the cosplay stuff.
Oh, Gunsnob says if you were in Vine, you could request a plethora of phone cages and grips all the
Plethora.
time.
That's a big word for him.
And it's spelled right. This is Stacy typing. I
Yeah.
know it. The Gunsnob isn't typing
Nah,
this.
he tried to fool us.
Yeah. So I've seen cages. I haven't seen when I saw ones that would work well with my phone. I wasn't looking for one, and now that I'm kind of interested, I just haven't seen what I wanted coming across.
Uh,
Um, shut it, he said. Yeah, whatever. Vine Mafia, that's true. And G Webs, man, I hope he gets into Vine pretty soon because he's been doing a lot of work with Amazon and deserves to be in that. Weird science capabilities for a 3D printer. Yeah, that's a little scary. Defense Dad's not in Vine either. Well, that does kind of suck. Sucks to be left-handed and not in Vine. Which one is Defense Dad left-handed? So I thought everyone knew by now that we refer to it as wrong-handed here. Like no one's
wrong hand.
left-handed. You're either right-handed or you're wrong-handed.
Yep.
Or LGBTQ plus whatever. I think the plus is you were born right-handed, but you identify as left-handed. I think that's what it means. I'm not even
I
sure.
don't know. Who cares?
Gun Snob has a couple little fold-up ones that'll fit in your pocket. So I need to see what those designs look like. Maybe I can print something like that. Yep. All right. So anyone, oh, jeez, I just said it's wrong-handed. Come on, listen, Defense Dad. What else we want to talk about here? So we do need to book someplace to stay. So if anyone
Yep.
out there's going to shot and you've got room for 3 people in your casa, and you want to work out a deal, let us know because TJ, AJ, and JC from GearReport are looking for
all
a
the
place.
initials. We have all the
Yeah.
initials.
Yeah. Well, it's the J Crew, really. So but J Crew's a brand, so we got to be careful talking about that. Here's an idea. Waiting on Jeff to start printing adult products branded GearReport. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't started printing with TPU yet. That's the softer, like silicon type material. And I'm kind of afraid to because it's supposed to be harder to print with. I would need to master that before even going down the road that Gun Snob is suggesting.
Throw it
And
out there.
I don't think I want to do that really. If
I'm not
being
testing.
left-handed is wrong, I don't want to be right. If being wrong-handed is wrong, jeez,
Wrong-handed.
he seems so smart, but then he can't even get something simple. You know, you see what I did there? I made a defense dad joke. Yeah, I did see that. Good job. Okay, but anyhow, we got a book. AJ actually sent me an Airbnb. Oh, I bet I closed it. No, there it is. You know what? We're going to
Oh,
put this on the screen
there we go.
because why not, right?
How
And
much
guess
poop
what?
and murder tape is there on the way to
Right.
Sands? I mean, that's the way it works.
Yeah. So a modern 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. And like, yes, we could make it work
Oh God,
with a sofa bed. But I'm like,
big
dude,
spoon.
but it's his turn to sleep on a sofa bed because the last time we
You
did an
did, yeah.
Airbnb and AJ was there,
Yep.
I slept on the sofa bed that week. I took one for the team and let the newbies, Alan and AJ, at their first shot shows, they
I had
both
the
had real
bedroom. Yeah,
beds, and I slept on the freaking couch
I had the
because
king
that's
size
the
bed.
type of
It's nice.
leadership that GearReport displays. Yeah. So,
And then from the the deflating air mattress on the floor of the worst hotel around to a king size bed to the
yeah,
couch. I've been all
yep,
over the place.
yep. That place doesn't look too bad. So we just have
No.
to figure out where it is in relation to the strip. And I
Mm-hmm.
guess that's what we're seeing in the background. I don't recognize those.
Either.
Okay, that's what is that? Treasure Island? Harrah's? What is that one? I can't remember which hotel that is that has the lighting like that,
I could read that. Dear Lord.
right? Mirage? Maybe it's Mirage.
Well,
Where's Penn and Teller? It's got a Penn and Teller thing on it.
there's palm
So
trees.
but it looks like it's, a few blocks away from the strip. Yeah, I agree that looks like Harris. Yep. Way too nice for us. I don't know. It'd be about $100 a day split between 3 people. Maybe we can pull that off. No bidet, that's a hard pass.
Maybe.
But I have an extra bidet. I could actually take
He's
one.
bringing one.
Yeah. I bet that place doesn't have naked homeless people in the parking lot. Well, yet.
Not yet. We don't know.
Who knows?
They moved them somewhere for the race, so they could be there. These pictures might have been taken before.
Yeah, that's a good point. So that place looks kind of interesting. Looks like what, like a condo or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
town
We'll have to
doors.
check it out. And says it's a great location. They wouldn't lie, right?
Yeah, just get the map. Get on the
They have,
map and
that's
be
what I
like,
was
how
looking
far?
for.
There we go.
Do
There we
they have a
go.
map? Oh, let me go up that way and then zoom out so we can figure out where we
Enhance.
are. Yeah,
Enhance.
okay. Actually, that's just so crazy it might work. Or was that Rio? Is that over by the Rio?
It's only
I
4
think
miles.
Rio's over on that side. Oh, you know what that's close to? You see, this is Dean Martin right here, TJ.
Oh yeah.
What is by the T in Dean Martin? 511 Tactical, baby.
Yep.
So this would put us a little bit outside of our comfortable walking
We
distance.
walk there. We
Oh, we
walk
can.
there.
I know we can.
Under the
But
remember under the highway.
right here on Dean Martin,
Yep.
right under
Under
that
the highway.
highway.
Quite a few homeless people live underneath there.
Yep, you don't even have to go all the way up to Spring Mountain. You just cut
Yep.
through. Was
Hmm.
it Treasure Island or something that's
Yeah, it was
back here?
one of the resorts.
Through all the parking lots and everything. I've never felt safer than. Well, that's not true at all. But we didn't die. So
Well,
yeah,
exactly.
that might work. We'll have to let AJ know that maybe that'll do it.
He's going to be getting his walk on in the morning. Or we'll be Ubering every day.
Yeah, that's on the list to start looking into here. I'd hoped to look into it by now, just hadn't got to it yet.
Why break the tradition?
Dude, I am already booked on Southwest. Gun Snob says I'm going to wear the same pair of pants to cut down on to make room for the bidet, my
for his
carry-on. I'm
carry-on
on
bidet.
Southwest. That means I get 2 check bags and a carry-on and a personal item. I don't
Dang.
even need all of that stuff.
He
So
can
what I
bring you
do,
his spare bidet.
what I've done before, and I don't know if I'm going to do it this year. I'll probably do it just because I can. Um,
Put the one
no,
suitcase inside the other suitcase.
no, no sense in getting in any hurry to book early. Yeah,
Yes.
I hear you.
Dude, the prices only go down, right?
Oh, there's an electric scooter on Vine. What?
Oh, Jesus.
Um, I don't. I don't know. That could be interesting. Wouldn't that be cool though? Think about all the walking we did last year. If we had a
You just
pair of
hop on the
electric
scooter.
scooters,
Whee!
oh my goodness. That would have been so. I mean, until we ran out of power
Dude,
and
we
had
ran
to
out of
carry it
juice.
the
Yeah.
rest of the way.
I would just
Um,
abandon it at that point.
so what I have done on, I think I've done it twice for SHOT Show when I was on Southwest, is I will take the biggest suitcase I have, and like I'll get the luggage sets where they nest inside each other for storage. I'll take the 2 biggest ones out of that set and open the biggest one, put the next one in it, open that, pack that one. That's where all my stuff is. And then on the way back, if I have extra stuff that I want to bring home, I just take that one out of the
Which
bigger one. And now I have the
you
super
usually
big
do.
one and the next size. And all my stuff fits in the smaller one. So I have the whole big one to put whatever I want in. And that's worked out pretty well. And actually, what I've done in the past,
Except for all the stuff with Condor.
well, it's because I wasn't on Southwest that
Oh,
last
yeah.
year when we did that. That's why I had to ship
That
the
sucked.
UPS box back. So speaking of which, that's the other thing that if anyone has anything that they want to see us film at Battlefield Vegas, we've been talking to Ron about going back again after SHOT this year, and I'm going to shoot some Humvee stuff because they've got a new fleet of Humvees they're putting in service for picking up people on the strip, and they're doing some really neat modifications, some of which I've done before. So I'm going to
Ooh,
stop by and see those, but we'll see what else we can do.
they might hire you on.
God, I hope not. No, it's a cool place to visit, and they're awesome people, but I don't want to actually bend wrenches on trucks every day. I was employed as a mechanic at one time when I was in the Air Force, and I had enough of mechanicking. I do it a little bit for fun. I don't want to do it every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it look at you funny when you go to put the tag on your gun box. Yeah. So I have what I've done before is my big rolling camera box. It's like a big Pelican case on wheels. It's a Nanook case. I've
And
actually put that in one of those check bags. Uh, Although it makes a good carry on as well, which honestly, I like to do that because then I know all my camera stuff's going to make it. Like I
yeah,
can get toothpaste and underwear at a store by the strip
I usually do. I don't even bother bringing it.
cheaper, cheaper than trying to replace all my camera gear when we get there. You have to open 2 suitcases to do that. Yeah. G Web says, "Is this your place?" It's one that AJ sent for us to look at. That
Possibly.
we could go. Maybe we'll do it. I need to. We need to see if that's what we want to do. It's like the wrong side of the strip. We could
Yeah.
walk it. We really like. TJ and I were talking about this yesterday. Um, we like walking to and from the show. Nice to
Right.
stretch your legs in the morning, get your blood moving so you show up ready to go. But we did too much walking last year
Dude.
outside of that.
It was afterwards, dude. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Put the wingtips to the test, didn't we?
Yeah. Gun Snob has got non-stops this year, and there were none available for me. I don't think I saw a single nonstop flight available from
Well,
any airline this year
I can get
for me.
nonstop from Orlando, but I'm thinking, I mean, I can go to Melbourne right there, and they
Yeah,
go from Melbourne to Atlanta, and then Atlanta to Vegas.
yeah,
It
that's
adds an
nice.
hour. I think it adds an hour to my trip, but and it's a little bit more money, but dude, it's right there. I mean,
And you can
somebody can
have,
drop me off.
that's what I was saying.
I don't
Crystal
have
could
the
drop you
parking.
off
Yeah,
and pick you
I
up.
don't
You
have
don't
to
have to
pay
pay
for
for
the
parking.
week of parking and stuff like that. So,
Uh-huh. Nice.
mm-hmm.
Kevin says you can get your walking in on the floor. Well, we do. We walk way too much at SHOT Show historically. Like last year, we overachieved, and I have committed to not walk
That
so
a
much.
511 party, that's what put me under. That was the one.
Yeah, but I got us a ride, so we didn't have to walk back from that. If you
You
recall,
did, I remember.
yeah, we
In
ended
the
up back at a little
in
private.
the in the van.
Yep, yep, the Death Trap van.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't suspect at all. We ended up going back to someone's house, their Airbnb, and hanging out for a little while. And yeah. So anyhow, I think we're approaching our hour. I didn't think we were going to make it an hour tonight, but I
Dude,
appreciate
come
all
on,
the interactivity from the folks out there. If you
you
hadn't
guys.
subscribed, here's something. Um,
Whoa,
if you haven't subscribed to our Rumble channel, I haven't checked to
the
see.
Rumble.
I actually made a change on Rumble. In let's see, I made a change in how it streams.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go to, where would it be? I'm not even sure which channel it would be streaming on right now. I think it should be the firearms channel.
That's what it says on the thing. That's what
And it
I'm on.
says live. I think it's working. No, but that would have been last week's one, wasn't it? Based
Yeah.
on the, well, no, but it says episode streaming now. I think that's the right one. I've got to figure out the settings for the for that, but it appears, it says it's streaming. It doesn't want to work on this one, but it's still spinning. Maybe it's because I'm broadcasting it. It's taking a while to load. But we've got on the on Rumble, we have the original Gear Report, Guitar Gear Report, Camping Gear Report, Gear Report Firearms, Humvee Gear Report, Swimming Gear Report, and the Gear Report Maker channel. All of those are available out there on Rumble, and I'm trying to manage all of those and keep some good content out there for everyone so that everyone will be happy. We got a whole
Oh, there you
bunch of
go. Oh man.
new 3D printing stuff and lots of guitar stuff, because those are the where I was focusing the most recently, um, in preparation for switching over to mainly firearms stuff for the as we approach SHOT Show. So let's
I'm,
see.
I'm so bad. I just followed it.
Oh, good job. So I'm going to drop the OG Gear Report Rumble channel out there in the chat as well. Let's see. The Gun Snob says, I get to see sexy TJ in just 17 days. Are we
I know.
really 17 days from showing up in
It's
Vegas?
close. Yeah, it's close.
Holy crap. How did
I had to
that
put it. I
happen?
had to put it. I had to put it in for my time off.
Yeah. So next week we have Pomoto State Armory on. I think it's going to be Josiah and one of the marketing people. I'm not
Okay.
sure. We'll have to see who actually shows up to chat with us. We'll do that next week. That's the 11th. And then we'll have one more show before we get to SHOT Show, if I'm not mistaken. So please join us next week and be nice. Like, don't be too rude with the PSA people. Let's try to be respectful, but ask
Yeah.
good questions and all of that.
Snob.
And maybe the one before SHOT Show, we can get some people to get on and we'll kind of pregame SHOT Show stuff. That could be an interesting show,
Yeah.
like last minute
Get the
chat
gang in.
about what we're going to do at SHOT Show. I won't be rude to them, just you, Jeff. Well, I would expect no less from the Gun Snob.
Yes.
So,
All right.
yeah. All right. With that, I think it is time. We have
Dude, we're so
exhausted
close.
our hour. Yeah, I'm watching the ticker. It says 59 minutes 35 seconds. Can I stop it right on an hour? I don't care. I'm just gonna click the button here and say, yeah, yeah. So we'll pick our Airbnb in 2 weeks, right before
Yeah,
we go to SHOT Show. That
right
could be
before
fun.
as
I
we're
don't know.
boarding the plane. Like, is
Yeah,
this the one?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
But until then, we'll see you at the range.